In this unit, we're going to be learning about higher order polynomials. And by higher order polynomials, I mean polynomials that are x cubed, x to the fourth, x to the fifth, something other than just x squared, like what we worked with earlier. We were looking at polynomials with a degree of 2. Those were called quadratics. And when we looked at their graphs, the graphs were called parabolas. And we're going to be looking at some of the same type of things within higher order polynomials that we did with quadratics and parabolas. When we talked about quadratic equations, we talked about their zeros and the x-intercepts, and we're still going to be talking about that with higher order polynomials. When we talked about parabolas, we talked about the vertex. Well, a vertex is really just a turning point. In higher order polynomials, you have turning points that are not just a vertex that stops at a maximum or a minimum. When we talked about quadratic equations and the leading coefficient, that helped us to determine whether the parabola opened up or down and whether it was wider or more narrow than our parent function. And we're still going to be talking about that leading coefficient with higher order polynomials and seeing what happens to the end behavior of our graphs. In other words, what happens when we go out toward positive infinity or negative infinity.